Susan Kelechi Watson, you've been appearing on television since 2004, but this is your first regular role. So, what surprised you about life, not necessarily on This Is Us, but just about life as a series regular, being a normal member of a cast?
Um, how good it is. It really feels good to be able to have this character that I am like the guardian of, that I can live a full life with, not explore for like one episode, two episodes, 12 episodes, you know what I mean, over the course of like one season or two, but like somebody that I know I'm going to be with for a while and can we can see all different sides of her. To have a cast that I can connect with and get to know and grow together with, to have a job, just a job, consistent job as an actor. You know what I mean? So, I know what it is to be a working actor, kind of like a journeyman, a journeywoman in New York and all of that. So to now, have a place that I call home is really cool. And then for it to be this show in particular has been a very unique kind of journey. Um, I think it is very unique to this specific show because of the way it resonates with people that I'm really, really grateful for because it's the type of work that I have always longed to do.
And during the off season, are you still looking for other guest roles, or are you more just taking some time now?
Both, both, but absolutely, we have the ability to, because we have so much time to do film, to maybe do another series, like a limited series or a cable series or something like that. It's another unique part of it is that we shoot 6 months out of the year, and then the other 6 months we're off. So we have time to do that, and so it's great because I have that opportunity, and it's a show that I can grow in this show, but I can also do other things, which is really awesome.
So I was watching the Golden Globes earlier this year when your TV husband
Mhm.
Sterling K. Brown won, and he kind of opened my eyes a bit. I've always thought very fondly of like colorblind casting, but he talked about how it's even better than that to have a role that's like so specifically written for somebody who is black. So can you speak to
Mhm.
that from your own experience? I guess you were on Louis for a
Yeah,
while, and that was
absolutely.
kind of taken to an extreme
I
for
was.
colorblind casting.
Right, right. But see, I always called Louis' casting not colorblind, but color courageous. Because to me, it was the courage to say, I see her color. I'm going to put her here anyway, and no matter what character I play, unless I'm CGI'd or in some way, you know, masked, I'm a black woman. And that's good with me. And so it's not the idea of sort of erasing it or us not seeing it. I think we should see it. We should learn to appreciate it about one another. It's the differences that we all have. It doesn't go away. And we're not trying to homogenize it in any way. It's actually the thing that makes us all very interesting, that we come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different places on earth, and we bring a very particular experience to that. So to have a role that is written with that in mind, that doesn't say, okay, skip over that so that we can kind of understand who you are, but says, we will invest and understand who you are because there's a universal human experience that we are all cognizant of, then, you know, we can be any ethnicity, any color, and part of one big family, and people will believe it. Like on Louis, nobody said anything. Nobody was like, oh, forget it. I can't watch this no more. She black. You know what I mean? It was like, no, that's really cool. And then they were like, oh, that's different. Okay. And they just accepted it and kept watching it because we believed that it was true, And I think that's the point. It's like, you know, we just need to keep bringing really fully formal as part of our job to, to the rest of it takes care of itself. I think the truth is that if you're telling the truth, people go along for the ride. And as with Sterling's character, as with my character, they do a very good job on our show of telling the truth. And so people hang in there with us, regardless of our color.
Now, about a week or two after the Golden Globes, you picked up a SAG Award as part of the Best Ensemble Drama Cast on Television. So, can you tell me about that experience?
Out of body. I could not, like, part of me thought, I said, man, this cast, I looked around at my people and I was like, this cast deserves this award. I
Mhm.
just really believe in this cast and just think it's some of beautiful, committed work that they do every week. And even with that in mind, when they called our name, I remember Goldie Hawn looking in my direction and I thought, huh? Why is she looking at me? And then they said, this is us. And I just remember thinking, oh, they actually called our name. Like we go to a lot of these parties and our name doesn't get called. Now, that doesn't mean we're not grateful. We have a great time. But this was the first time they called us. So we kind of jumped out of our skin. It was a great, 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 great moment to be able to share it with all of us, to have that little journey up those stairs onto that stage and then backstage and do this whole thing. It was so new to most of us that it was great to share it with each other. It was great to experience. And then it felt nice like that by our peers. You know what I mean? There's two awards growing up that I've always really admired. And the SAG Award, NAACP, and the Emmys and the Tonys. I remember watching all these award shows growing up, and of course I'm a fan of the Oscar, no doubt. But I always saw these other shows as like, because I watched so much television, you know what I mean? As like, and theater was something for me. So to get the SAG Award really felt like this authentic recognition, and that felt really, really good.
What's something specific that you've learned from a fellow cast member about acting that you didn't know before?
Something I've learned about a fellow cast member, about acting that I haven't learned before. I think, you know, maybe, maybe it's just to sort of kind of act out loud in a way. Like sometimes I figure things out before I perform it or before I act it. I figure it out in my head. But there's something about acting out loud. It's like just finding it on its feet. Do you know what I mean? Like in front of people and in front of the camera. The boldness of like being maybe too big and then scaling it back. But that there's fun in that you can really find some really fun things when you do that. That's something new that I try to incorporate into my acting style now.
Okay. Now the show, I think it has a reputation for being very heartwarming, but I found like, especially toward the end of this last season, it kind of went to sometimes being just sad. Uh, how do you feel about
Uh-huh.
the progression of how the show is resonating emotionally?
You know what? It was sad. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on your train because I remember watching the episode where Jack dies and the funeral. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, we're gonna throw the ashes. We gonna see them throw the ashes. Like we got to watch all of it. And I said, this is rough. Like I was really like an audience member trying to hold it together, especially because I wasn't in that episode. So I really was watching it. And sometimes I don't, this is a secret that I don't tell Dan and everybody. They're gonna know now. But sometimes I don't want to read scripts that I'm not in because I want to genuinely just watch it and be surprised. That was one of the scripts that I didn't read. And so I've straight up experienced it like an audience member, and it was sad. Um, but death is sad, and sometimes there's just no way around it. So I like the integrity with which we approach grieving. It's a part of life. You're supposed to grieve, and there's something to that, and it's necessary. So I feel like it provides that. Grieving often becomes like this thing we try to avoid, weakness, vulnerability, all those things. You're afraid that if you go there, you may never come back, but the show kind of shows that we can go there and you're going to come back. Life is going to go on. Time is going to keep moving and you're going to come back. So I understood it. And then the next week we had an episode like Vegas, you know what I mean? And you see them all grown up and they're partying and they're doing their thing in Vegas. You know why? Because life moved on. And that's the show. That's the journey. It's life. And so there's going to be sometimes there's going to be something sad and we're going to sit in it and it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Do you go back to the show in July?
We do.
And is season 3 a Beth season? Are we going to see you in flashbacks or doing things kind of unrelated to the Pearsons and Big Three?
Yes. Yes. I'm sure by now you know I can't say anything, but yes, Beth will be around. There's no plans to kill Beth. I know this has been a rumor that possibly Beth dies. She's not dead.
It looks that way. You guys keep saying that she's alive, but
I know people don't believe us. Now it's like now when we try to tell people spoilers, they don't believe us. Like, you know, but we found it really kind of funny, but so endearing that I was really grateful that people wanted her to stay around, but also really glad she's not going to die.
So if you were nominated for an Emmy this year, what would you submit as like the best Beth episode?
Wow, that's such a good question. I love the Vegas episode because it's just you get to see so many sides of Beth. I love the episode where Randall and Beth are first, you know, trying to adopt, and she goes out and smokes like that fake cigarette, and they have this whole thing happening. I love the episode where Beth does Deja's hair for the first time. She like lets her do her hair. I think those are the 3 that I might look at and submit. There were just some really special Beth moments in those.
Now, what about, do you vote for the Emmys?
I think I do now.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so you mentioned you, like, I guess, grew up watching a lot of television. What are you going to be voting for at the Emmys unrelated to your show this year?
Okay. Let's see. Throw some shows out there. Who's out there right now? Help me out. What shows are out there? I'm trying to think of, you know, my mind goes blank. Let's see. Comedies. I really like The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's a great new comedy. Let's see. If Game of Thrones was on, that's always what I defer to.
It is eligible this year. Yeah.
Huh?
It is eligible this year.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
All right. Okay, and finally, tell me about being on the board of directors for the Drama Club in New York.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Drama Club is actually an organization that goes in youth detention centers and prisons to offer improv, dramatic work, and basically a voice to these young people from about age. Well, it depends, because in some of the detention centers, it can go as young as maybe 10 or 11, somewhere in there. And then in like Rikers and other places, it's like 16 to 21. So we go in and offer the dramatic arts as a way of expressing themselves, as a way of communicating with others, as a way of learning how to work with one another, how to embrace themselves, have a sense of self-esteem, their own potential. We offer mentorship. We offer when they come out that they can take on internships with the paid internships with the program and eventually become a part of the teaching program, eventually make it to the board themselves. You know what I mean? This type of thing. So it's an ongoing process. As a board member, there's a lot of work to it. There's a lot of coordinating and fundraising and awareness that we do. I try to bring a more public platform to the organization. We most recently did an activation with John Legend and his organization, Free America, around Jesus Christ Superstar. I was on, and we bought 2 of the young people that have since graduated from the program have left incarceration, now work with the program, came and met John to watch the rehearsal, talked about what Drama Club has done for them. And that's up on all digital platforms, ours as well as NBC's and Free America. And I've done stuff in People about it. And, you know, it's really just about offering another choice, telling, you know, the young people that we believe in them, that this, whatever happened is not the definition of them. It's a moment in time. For those who are wrongly incarcerated, there are people that Josie, who runs the organization, has worked with, who were wrongly incarcerated, who now work with our organization. You know, it offered a space of hope and change. And I just know what drama has done for me in my life. It has sincerely changed the path of my life. Sincerely. Once I learned about doing this, about being an artist, being an actor, my whole life went on a different path. And so I know how that feels and the power of it. So that's why I get behind Drama Club. And I've seen the power of it in these young people's lives. And it is something to get behind.
That's really cool, Susan. All right. Well,
Thank
thanks for chatting. And we look forward to seeing This Is Us at the Emmys this summer. And also, we look forward to seeing Beth alive and well, you know, on This Is Us going forward.
All right. Thanks. Good talking to you.